Thank you, Dave. A pleasant October afternoon is Saturday football in the Manitoba capital. Two teams that competed in 27-22 ball games on different sides last week. The Blue Bombers beating Montreal, Calgary losing in BC. Tim Burke, the last time he met the Calgary Stampeders, not a great debut as head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They got their butts kicked 44-3.
Instrumental receiver right here in the Winnipeg passing attack. Chris Matthews lit it up last week in the zone coverage of Montreal. Presented today a different test. Man-to-man coverage against the Calgary Stampeders. And this guy right here on the defensive side for the Stamps, he's moving up, getting into the box, going to get in the mix a little bit. Typically a cornerback, starting at Sam linebacker today.
John Huffnagel, 8-6, hoping for a bounce-back week. After the loss against the Lions, Stamps did rally back but fell short. Some changes in their lineup. We'll tell you more about that as well in Winnipeg. A little bit of a win today, but not much. We are a month away from the postseason, the stretch drive, and yes, there is still a pulse beating in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Reports of their death greatly exaggerated last week after their surprise win over the Montreal Alouettes. Can they keep it going? Jason Armstead is back. They have painted the town pink here. Answer awareness game. Stamps and Bombers, and Jason Armstead picks his way up near the 48-yard line. Great field position for Kevin Glenn. The last time the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had a quarterback continuity and had a guy in there for a long time was Kevin Glenn, and there's another former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Makes his return really to his home here in Winnipeg, Avi Khan.
Unexpected return has got the starting center, who John Huffnagel calls the best in the league, is down with a lower body injury, so Obi Khan comes back and gets to play against his former teammates after being released from the offseason.
Said it was weird coming out of that tunnel, the visitors' tunnel today, and as expected, John Cornish moving closer to the all-time single-season record for a Canadian running back. The record, of course, set by Normie Kwong back in the 50s, playing with the Edmonton Eskimos. John Cornish is Normie Kwong, circa 2012.
Starters to watch, John Cornish, steady diet of him all day long. Why not? The Bombers a little light in the up front in the defensive seven, so pound the line of scrimmage. Kevin Glenn, he'll benefit from that. When they pound the box and bring extra people, that'll open up Nick Lewis. He's 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's fantastic.
Kevin Glenn in trouble, lets it go, and a quick 2 and gone for the Calgary Stampeders. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, one of their failures this season in this 4-10 campaign has been their inability to stop opening drives. They've given up a lot of points and also haven't scored many points on opening drives. They talked about a quick start last week, and they talked about one this week. And they get a good stop early on.
Certainly is, and that's Gilmore getting in the sack, and Kevin Glenn are forcing him to throw the ball errantly, and boy, that's huge. 2 and out. Great start for the Bomb defense.
Rob Naver bounces off Demond Washington, and the Calgary Stampeders have the football right back.
Unbelievable.
Off the noggin and into the hands of the Stampeders.
It's like a shortstop. You know, we're in the Major League Baseball playoffs right now, and he's kind of gotten the short hop here, and he just kind of bounced up. And it was Darius Brooks who was Johnny on the spot. He's flying down there, 32 to the right of your screen, just fending off a potential blocker, and the ball just kind of comes right to him. Just a gift on a short hop that comes off the noggin right to Brooks, and Calgary's got unbelievable field position here early on.
After a 2 and out and a stop by the Bomber defense, they give it right back. And they go right back to John Cornish. We talked about Demond Washington. His issue this season has been hanging on to the football. That's his 8th fumble this season. He didn't really fumble it, it touched him, but he's given up the ball a lot. Let's take a look at the defensive starters to watch, brought to you by Rona, proud partner of the CFL and its 8 teams.
Yeah, huge last week. Brandon Stewart, big-time corner, big-time playmaker. Sealed the deal for Winnipeg last week against Montreal. Javon Johnson kind of struggling this football season, moving up to the Sam linebacker position. And then Hernan Kashama, going to be tested with the run game today.
Glenn over the top. It'll be a first down, and first and goal now as former Blue Bomber Romby Bryant makes the catch.
Yeah, this is, Romby kind of fell awkwardly, and I don't know if he hurt something because he did need to fall to catch his football. If he keeps his feet, he's got a walk-in touchdown. You watch him, he's at the top of your screen, going to want to slant, gets leverage, a little help from the outside receiver, and then he just kind of gets, like snipered. Somebody just, like his knee went out on him or something, and if they pick up a big first down, looks like here, but Romby Bryant looked very awkward.
They are going to measure. It may require a third down play here. They again could go first and goal. And it will be first and goal from short yardage. Let's take a look at this injury again to Romby Bryant.
Yeah, and right here, and then right there, it's like Jonathan Hepney comes in late. His knee kind of kicks up off the shoulder pad, and could be just a stinger, kind of like on your funny bone, on your elbow. Hopefully he'll be able to walk that out because he's a big part of the stretching it for the Calgary offense down the football field.
So they will go first and goal, and John Cornish is stuffed as Bo Levi Mitchell came in behind center, and you might expect Kevin Glenn back here as well. I know they're in the area where the short yardage quarterback comes in. But John Cornish, a rarity, gets stuffed in the backfield here.
Penetration, upfield, there it is right there. And then Marcellus Bowman, who really played an outstanding football game last week in Montreal, sideline to sideline, tracking Cornish and made sure he didn't get in the end zone.
Marcellus Bowman will celebrate his 26th birthday tomorrow, but I'd like to unwrap a birthday present early with a victory today. Bomber defense needs another hold right here. Glenn back in the shotgun. And again, and Cornish, time to run, and finds the end zone. Touchdown. We have a penalty flag, however. Dave Foxcroft is our referee today.
Offside, Winnipeg, number 91. That penalty's declined. Touchdown.
So the Calgary Stampeders were 7th in the CFL on the turnover ratio. Get points off this very costly turnover by the Blue Bombers. And Cornish scores his 11th touchdown of the season. And the Stampeders, thanks to a gift from DeMond Washington, have an early 7-0 lead in Winnipeg. A turnover by DeMond Washington on a punt return, and then John Cornish finds the end zone again.
Well-designed two-run play that was executed, fooled the Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense, and Cornish kind of just gallops into the end zone, takes a shot as he crosses the plane, but well-designed offensive structure and a gimme for the Stampeders.
Washington, who also fumbled last week in Montreal, this ball's going to go out of bounds, and they'll make them kick again likely. Or will they take the ball where the ball went out of bounds? Looks like they're bringing the offense out on the field, and they will.
Right here, you watch this, Spencer Wilson, a run influence technique here, pulling, and it sucks in the defensive end, and Marcellus Bowman, and watch John Cornish just sneak outside. They're fooled, they're watching run fake, and then Cornish gets the edge, and takes a hit from Ian Logan as he crosses the plane.
First down, Winnipeg.
The Bombers take the ball at the 45-yard line. And Joey Elliott, CFL Offensive Player of the Week 2 times this season. One after a win against Hamilton, and this week after the win against Montreal. Back at the helm. Got off to a terrific start at Molson Stadium against the Alouettes a week ago. Here's a big rush now. Elliott goes over the middle. Terrence Edwards wanted an interference call as he was tangled up with Malik Jackson, but will not get it.
Here's the starters to watch. Offensively, Chris Matthews, big target, huge game last week. Why not feed him the rock? One-on-one opportunities, he's going to have advantage. Joey Elliott, when he's on, he's phenomenal. Clarence Denmark, Boy, he's had a really tough season last week. Not in the lineup, attended his father's funeral, but before that, he caught fire. They're looking for him to do the same today.
Elliott on the roll now, and the ball, is it snared? Kurt Adams makes his first catch as a Blue Bomber. Hails from Arkansas, draws into the lineup today.
That'd be pick up for a half a yard on his first catch as a Bomber. Not one to remember, but boy, really passive series for the Bombers. 1st and 10, Elliott's pressured, throws it high, can't find the mark, and there he's on the roll. Little pressure in his face, he's got to dump it off, and they're forced to punt and 2 and out.
Again, all the talk about Buck Pierce, of course, and recovering from a concussion, and Buck not playing again this week. Mike Renault. Armstead fields it at his 23 and will step out of bounds. Stampeders come back on the field. A 39-yard kick, just a 2-yard return here in Winnipeg. That graphic, those numbers speak volumes about the Blue Bombers season.
When you got a new offensive coordinator, the quarterback turnover that they have, boy, it's hard to find consistency when you're digging out of a hole constantly.
Stampeders in the last meeting built up a big lead en route to the 44-3 trouncing. And the former Blue Bomber, Kevin Glenn, back in Winnipeg.
Procedure, Calgary, number 50. It's a 5-yard penalty.
And of course,
Remains
Matt, everybody
first
also talking about John Cornish. He finds the end zone again and continues to pile up the real estate this season.
Oh, he's been unbelievable. I believe he just passed the great Jerry James in yardage over the course of one season by a Canadian, and he's not done yet.
Needs 249 yards to pass Norman Kwan. Maurice Price was hit by Ian Logan and brought down, but very close to a first down.
Well, they kissed each other flush with the face mask there. Price just getting through a small hole on a little hitch screen to the right side and found that hole and then got up into the secondary, and Ian Logan just went nose to nose with the big receiver, Maurice Price. From a very unknown school, Charleston Southern. Rob.
You ever been there?
Never.
You ever seen them play on TV?
Never.
No. Maybe cable. 2nd down. And that first down is attained here. Again, as Bo Levi Mitchell comes in of Eastern Washington and SMU as well.
Got a chance to meet him before the ball games. A couple times I talked to him this year, and good-looking kid, good size, put together well, got a cannon for an arm. That's why they use him in Hail Mary situations. Phenomenal upside, Bo Levi Mitchell.
There he goes again, John Cornish. They talk about him running downhill, and what he does, he finds those gaps. Blue Bombers are going to try to stack that box this afternoon, but good luck putting a bullseye on number 9.
John Cornish gets a lot of help from his big guys up front. You watch Cote right here, comes over here, smacks the guy right in the mouth. There's that hole that he's going to hit right there. And that's a big hole as far as running backs are concerned, because typically it's just like a 6 to 8 inch window and you got to slice through there. We'll talk more about that as the game goes on.
2nd and 5. Glenn hangs in and over the top. Or very close to another first down. Marcellus Bowman making the tackle on Rob Cote.
You talk about a big back.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, you don't know how big this guy is. He's actually like 6'2", goes about 235, 240 maybe. Boy, he can block, he can catch, he's an all-purpose guy. This is not an easy catch coming across the middle. Just extends, showing you his ability to do it all for the Stampeders.
Another one of those undrafted players, another one of those players who came from the junior ranks in Canada, and we're seeing a great influx of those players making it to the CFL and making an impact. 3rd down, short yardage again. The Stampeders not only own the scoreboard right now, they also own time of possession in a serious way, eating up a lot of the clock.
Yeah, and Rob Cote, he may be feeling a little pressure from a kid by the name of Matt Walters, first-year player from Calgary, who I think has got a lot of explosion. So a little competition going on with the Canadian running backs that, you know, right here as the season progresses and unfolds in front of our eyes. And it's a great thing for the Stampeders, or any organization for that matter, that have that competition, guys pushing each other this time of the season.
Cote catches a lot of passes. Walter runs more. Both certainly helping in the backfield with the blocking. It's 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. Long toss for Bryant as he was trying to get underneath that, and he could not. Watch downfield by Jonathan Heffney.
That's Romby Bryant back on the football field after he limped off that first down catch in the first drive. Or I should say second drive, when they got the ball handed to him in the gift territory. And Romby doesn't seem like he's got any ill effects from that hit from Jonathan Heffney, who was in coverage on that play.
Romby Bryant, of course, went to Calgary a few years ago. Big trade with R.J. Franklin for Odell Willis, Jabari Arthur, Titus Ryan, and Derek Armstrong. Had an impact on both teams in a big way. Glenn, good protection again, and now the pocket closes. There he goes. Glenn barks some signals and trying to make a catch. John Forzani. There is a penalty flag on the far side of the field. I don't think anybody notices it. Back over at the 42-yard line. Forzani wanted a call, but this call's coming from the far side of the field.
Yeah, it's away from the field. It's Johnny Sears.
Illegal contact, Winnipeg, number 0. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And it's pretty simple. At the top of your screen, you're going to have Romby Bryant, who I was just talking about, is back on the football field right here. And there's Sears. He's going to run up and get smacked in the mouth as he tries to run a dig, coming across the middle, away from the play, as Glenn's scrambling. And Johnny Sears just kind of cold cocks him, and he's on the ground. Moving the chains once again for Calgary.
Under 6 to go, opening quarter. Stampeders looking like the Stamps a month ago against Winnipeg. Glenn, sidearm in traffic. Move the sticks again. It's time to Marquay McDaniel.
There's a little chemistry going on right there, because that ball was thrown on time, in a spot, a tight window. The Calgary's drive here has been aided once again by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers' miscues. Penalty keeps the drive alive. Before that, we saw the fumble. Calgary capitalizes. Kind of a story for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, shooting themselves in the foot in the first quarter.
First and 10 from the 45. Out of the backfield is Cornish. Tossed to the ground there. And Kevin Glenn right now putting on a clinic.
He is, and when he gets hot, boy, there's really nobody better in the Canadian Football League, because when he starts feeling it, he heats up and he just starts delivering the ball with confidence. Dave Dickinson, the offensive coordinator, has got a wonderful rhythm with the veteran quarterback Kevin Glenn of 12 years in this league, and they get in the sync and they can start carving you up in a hurry. Reminiscent of when Dickinson was under the center, really sliced and diced defenses at will when he got hot as well.
There's Dave Dickinson, former Lion and Stampeder quarterback, now the offensive coordinator. Cornish to give again. Yesterday I said, what's it going to take for the Calgary Stampeders to be a month and a half from now in the Grey Cup game in Toronto? And he said one word: consistency.
Everybody looks for that, Rod. And it's so hard because it's a long season. The turnover with injuries and the rosters and the Canadian ratio and all the nuances of the Canadian game that comes into play throughout the course of the season. Everybody struggles for that across the league. And it's easy to say we're looking for consistency. It's another thing to define and how to get that.
Glenn again. And still not able to bring down Jason Armstead.
Talked to Jason before the football game. This guy is a phenomenal story in of itself. For the last 4 years, he's basically been plucked off the couch, and that's not a good example in a way to term his approach to the game. But Jason Armstead, 9 years in the league, the guy is phenomenal.
He's not on the couch very long, though.
No, he's not. Look at this. And this is speed kills, and I love that tattoo, and I love the mindset, because this guy stays in shape, and when he gets a call from a club that needs him, he steps up and delivers, and for doing it for the way he has the last 4 years is absolutely a testament to his approach to the game.
Glenn fires again. And Nick Lewis makes his first catch, and his consecutive game streak continues.
Yeah, and that's on Johnny Sears as well. Just a little basically in or slant pattern on Sears, who extended this drive with his hit on Romney Bryant earlier. And Nick Lewis just kind of runs away from him. Bang, big body. You're not going to get in between Nick Lewis and the football. Ball's thrown to his upfield shoulder, which is great precision by Kevin Glenn. 19 offensive plays to 2 right now for the Calgary Stampeders compared to the Bombers at this point.
Dr. Glenn at work. And roughed up, knocked out of bounds. Kevin Glenn, who again has been with Saskatchewan and then Winnipeg. Had some chemistry here with a guy we know quite well, the number 85, Milt Stegall, through the years. Went to Hamilton, of course. Great promise there. Team that always flirted, it seemed, with 500. Kevin Glenn, in fact, has always flirted with 500. His record,
he's 68 and 68.
It's 500. And a few years ago in Winnipeg, had a chance to take a team to a Grey Cup, broke his arm, and he's kind of had hard luck getting to the big game.
Yeah, but he's a guy you root for. You know, I root for him because I love the way he continues to approach the game and has confidence in his abilities to play.
2nd and 8. There he goes again, and almost picked off. And if there is an issue with Kevin Glenn, it's Javon Johnson, who hasn't had a lot of picks this year, just one, again, playing linebacker, not defensive halfback, is that Kevin Glenn through the years has also thrown a great number of interceptions.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, the routes run for Nick Lewis and undercut by Javon Johnson, who's a corner by heart. He's playing Sam by necessity. And that one could have gone 100 yards the other way right there in a hurry, because nobody was going to catch Javon because he had nothing but open grass in front of him.
The Matador, Rene Paredes, has had a terrific season. 15 of his last 16, over 90%. Calgary Stampeders own the first quarter so far.
Welcome aboard.
Tim Burke must be apoplectic right now. This is a horrendous start by the Bombers.
This ball looks like it's out. We've had a chance to look at it during the break, and that's Keon Raymond, the Sam linebacker, and Malik Jackson pulling it out. And his knee's down, but the ball's out already. That is 3 offensive plays and 2 fumbles for the Bombers. Ugly here in the first quarter.
They won the turnover battle in Montreal a week ago, and right over the top again for Marquay McDaniel. And Kevin Glenn is rubbing salt in it right now.
And feeling it and loving it. Upfield shoulder throw on the money to 1-6. Marquay McDaniel, his ex-teammate, is a tie cat. These guys have been nice in the 2 times they connected here in the first quarter. Beautiful timing throw and precision by the Calgary Stampeder offense. Once again, capitalizing on Winnipeg turnovers.
There goes Cornish. Around the corner. And looks like a horse collar tackle there, but no flag.
No, I really enjoyed talking to John Cornish before the football game today and talked to him about his distinct style of running, which I think he brings. Every back in the league's got their own assets and style of running, but John Cornish, he glides and slides through holes often and gets small, so to speak, and he's got a wonderful take on that. I'll share that with you more as the game goes on.
Kansas Jayhawk, Canadian back, out of the backfield again, and as much yardage as he has accumulated on the ground, he's also accumulated a lot via the air this season. Not as much as Andrew Harris yards from scrimmage, but John Cornish and Andrew Harris, both of these guys so deserving of top Canadian this year.
And the attention they're getting, because it's well-deserved. They're fun to watch. They're dynamic football players.
Illegal formation, Calgary. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Finally, it gives the Bomber crowd something to cheer about here. Nobody's on their feet. They're all sitting down, been taken out of the football game because of their own team's miscues. Finally, Calgary does something wrong, and the fans appreciate it. Johnny Cornish is phenomenal to watch. Both Andrew Harris and he are dual threats out of the backfield, running and receiving. Congratulations to Andrew Harris for coming from his feet last night.
A check down here from Kevin Glenn, sends his receivers out, goes over the middle again, and it is a touchdown for Nick Lewis. And the Calgary Stampeders are making this look easy.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. One-on-one timing. Kevin Glenn, I said when he gets hot, he's white hot. You're going to watch Nick Lewis. He's right in here. He's going to run a route, come over the top of the defender that's trailing him underneath. The ball is thrown in the air. He goes over the top, outside move. Javon Johnson, he can't flip his hips quick enough. Nick Lewis is in the end zone.
Well, the first glitch from the Calgary Stampeders and a botched convert here. But just when the Blue Bombers, who got walloped 44-3 a month ago, thought it could get better this time against Calgary after the win.
Yeah, Nick Lewis.
I went to the end zone to get a cold pop. So, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Yeah. Your quarterback's on fire right now. Watch him lead him into the hole here. This ball's thrown with premier timing. Javon Johnson, Defensive Player of the Year last year, can't flip his hips quick enough. Nick Lewis runs a nice route. Ball's thrown beautifully. Nick Lewis got an easy catch, walk-in touchdown. They're feeling it. Their quarterback's on fire. Bombers are giving them gifts. The Calgary Stampeders are saying thank you very much. And once again, embarrassing the Winnipeg Blue Bomber football team.
Well, even worse than last time. The last time they met in the 44-3 drubbing, Calgary led 10-0 after the first quarter. It's already 16-0. And the Bomber offense, you know, they've been on the field for basically 3 plays.
Yeah. Last time they played, Joey Elliott was 5 of 8 for 26 yards, no touchdowns. An interception was pulled halfway through the second quarter. They're well on their way to doing that again today.
Now Washington gets a block down the sideline. Final play of an opening quarter with a penalty flag that flies in the Bomber bench. Well, we've got a feeling of who carried momentum over from last week. Calgary Stampeders on a bounce back, or the Winnipeg Blue Bombers after their biggest win of the season. So far, it's been all Calgary.
Unnecessary roughness. Calgary, number 45. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So there will be one more play here with the clock at zeros because of the penalty. Here is the unnecessary roughness call.
Yeah, it's a good call. He's on the white, and he gets plastered over there by a couple of Stampeders, and back judge saw it. That's an easy call.
So they are going to say that that's the end of the first quarter. So the teams will switch sides, and the Bombers will try to get something going here. Nothing going right in Winnipeg. Dreadful start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers again against the Calgary Stampeders, who come out on fire. Their only blemish, a missed convert. Otherwise, it would be 17-0. Welcome back to Pink Power, again raising awareness for women's cancers. And it's not that cold. We don't need scarves, but everybody's decked out in their pink, including the players today. And you have to commend the CFL and all the players for helping raise awareness.
Absolutely love it. I love the participation across the board.
I like you. You look good at that.
Well,
right
hey,
there, right?
back at you. This will come in handy later on in the month, I'm sure, and you'll see a lot of these over the course of the next several weeks, and as you should. And right now, I'm kind of deflated at this point, Rod, because I was anticipating the Bombers coming off the momentum they had last week, a huge victory against Montreal, and they're really coming out flat here in the first quarter.
Joey Elliott play action. One thing Elliott can do is really sell that play action pass. They have the reception to Terrence Edwards. Well, it is a special promotion, obviously, to help raise awareness, to help find a cure, and the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers knows it only too well.
I haven't told anybody this outside of my immediate family, but my mom's battling cancer right now. So, I mean, this brings, to me, it's obviously a great cause. And, you know, for those of us who have family members who are battling cancer or have had people that have battled cancer, it's, you know, it brings everything into perspective.
Well, that's a great word, perspective, and especially when you play a little boy's game, and a little boy's game that can be very frustrating sometimes in wins and losses when you're measured, especially by wins and losses.
Yeah, but this is what the game can provide, a platform for bigger causes such as this, and to have Tim Burke share his personal strife and his mother stricken with cancer and dealing with it right now was a shocker to all of us yesterday when we were at the interview, and but wish him well, and certainly his mom and everybody else who's dealing with this in the world, and that we're all touched by in some way, shape, or form.
Tim Burke has had the MO the last couple of weeks with his team. Don't worry, play happy. They're not very happy so far. The message, play for the love of the game. Alex Brink comes in, and there's another penalty flag. This turf has been littered with orange nylon so far this game.
Looked at last night's ball game between Hamilton and BC. Talk about flags.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know.
Illegal procedure, illegal formation. Winnipeg, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So another bullet hole in a cleat.
First couple boos I've heard today, anyways. Bombers are kind of getting used to them at this point because the season has not gone well for them, and today it's just been a dreadful start, and you can't even line up properly on a second and short situation.
Well, you played here, Matty, for a few years. You know what it's like here. And these are knowledgeable fans, and it's been a long time since Winnipeg has won a Grey Cup. Desperate for a winner. Joey Elliott dodges one, now fires, and the first down. Clarence Denmark back in the lineup, and that's what Joey Elliott did last week, able to find receivers, able to make something out of nothing, and he does.
Yeah, and what they're doing, you know, Calgary's bringing up people, then dropping back into zone, so they're really trying to confuse Joey Elliott, which they did already in this series, and they drop people back. Joey's got to get his eyes off the defense, pull it down, then he resets his eyes, focuses downfield, and finds Clarence Denmark.
Rare first down for the Bombers. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Stands in again, and that one should have been caught by the veteran, Terrence Edwards.
When the wheels fall off, they fall off. These are plays that your veteran receiver has got to make, veteran players for that matter. Just not Terrence Edwards, but everybody's got to step up and do their own job. Not try to do too much at this point. One play at a time, look the ball in, move the chains, keep the drive going. Those are tough to swallow when your team's struggling here, watching a veteran put it on the ground.
Stampeders, needless to say, have owned the Blue Bombers in 2012. Bombers trying to turn it around. Lots of time here, though. If they can get a score, get a spark. And again, through the mitts of Terrence Edwards, but a penalty flag.
That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and I'd contest this if I was John Hufnagel, because that ball was tipped coming out.
Pass interference, Calgary, number 28. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Keenan McDougal off the edge. We saw the series before, the play before, where the Stampeders come up and they drop people. Well, they bring people. McDougal touches it right there, so that's live ball. I don't know. Gotta contest that one.
Brandon Smith flagged for interference, so the Blue Bombers get new life again. Three-man rush. Elliott goes the other way to Chad Simpson, who slipped. This team so far has not even been a reasonable facsimile of last week's team that did so well in Montreal. They just haven't been able to get any traction.
Well, it's a well-designed play. They got a screen set up away from motion. You got Simpson, who's an elusive running back, having a tremendous season himself when he gets the opportunity. He just slips right in front of Ken Petway, rush in for the Stampeders.
2nd and 9, Bombers not good on second down conversions. Not good this time, but Joey Elliott was dumped in the backfield, and This drive will continue again.
No, it's almost,
No.
I'm not saying this, but it almost feels like to me that
Calgary, number 11.
So they're
After
saying
distance, first down.
Malik Jackson. A shot to the head here.
he goes up trying to knock the ball down, then he just tries to tackle the quarterback. You can see him go up. Malik Jackson keeping the drive alive for the Bombers.
Yeah, the
Take it however you can get it.
Yeah, Stampeders helping out Winnipeg this time. Simpson again. The box was stacked and plows away. Now down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be second and down. You know, you talked earlier, Kevin Glenn talked about consistency. That's certainly something Winnipeg hasn't had. They were 7-1 to start the season last year. And then since that time, they haven't been very good. 7-17. And they haven't had back-to-back wins since last August. Stretch of 26 games. And again, up the middle. And they finally score. And maybe get a spark here. Chad Simpson, who fumbled earlier, gets some redemption. Bombers are on the board.
Well, Calgary threw him the flint rock and sparked this and continued to keep the drive alive. And it's good. Hey, not taking anything away. This is a well-designed, executed play. That's a gaping hole right up in the middle of Sorensen doing his job up front. And Chris Greaves, just a walk-in basic touchdown for the Bombers that was certainly aided by the Calgary Stampeders' lack of discipline.
Starting to look like a rout. Suddenly, Winnipeg gets this touchdown. Who knows what can happen next?
Greaves go up here and wall off Simpson. Then you're going to have a nice block on Sorensen right here in the front, dominating the line of scrimmage. Watch this hole open up. Greaves sits up there, throws his shoulders in the hole. It's a walk-in touchdown, and boy, he was fired up before the ball game, doing a little yard ape right there, I like to call it. Beating the chest, saying, let's get it on. That was a walk-in touchdown, courtesy of Sorensen and Greaves, the big boys up front for the Bombers.
9-point game. Bombers stop Jason Armstead this time. Michel Pombriand getting the special teams tackle, and now it's up to the Bomber defense that was really dominant in the first half against Montreal a week ago. They're going to have to put some stops up here against Kevin Glenn.
Absolutely they will, and it almost looked like the Calgary Stampeders who got off to such a great start. The hot hand of Kevin Glenn, some turnovers by the Bombers, only 3 plays in the first quarter offensively for the Bombers. Almost looks like they lost their edge right there in that series and really became undisciplined and aided that touchdown drive.
There's a direct snap, and John Cornish runs into a blue and gold wall.
Which now the Bombers will feed off of. Marcellus Bowman stepping up there with his stellar play from last week, once again filling the run gaps and really hitting Cornish hard, which you don't see very often. He catches him flush, scraping into the hole. Comes right across and wreaks havoc across number 9's face.
Stampeders, the second best team in the CFL. Second down conversions. Been outstanding here in Winnipeg this afternoon. Crowd finally into it. Glenn, lots of time. And the best second down receiver in the CFL, Nick Lewis, does it again.
And he's celebrating. He knows it, too. This is cover 0. This is one-on-one coverage in the secondary. Winnipeg brings the heat. You're going to see everybody come, including Ian Logan, the free safety. Nick Lewis is running away from his man. Once again, Javon Johnson in coverage. Can't get it done. Veteran to veteran, 12 years to 9-year player, Nick Lewis, making it look relatively easy with pressure in his face, Kevin Glenn.
Nick Lewis has never missed a game. Late substitution for Winnipeg. Ian Logan just ran on the field at the last moment. And it looks like Jabari Arthur on the far side. Make that Robbie Bryant making the catch.
This is a clinic, Rod, of offensive production quarterbacking. Moving the pocket, changing the launching point. Kevin Glenn gets the edge, and then he just waits for the underneath to clear and sticks it on Romby Bryant. Just a curl flat, timing and doing it to perfection. Kevin Glenn in that Calgary Stampeder offense.
Looks like short yardage again. That means Bo Levi Mitchell time. Talked about Kevin Glenn and also Nick Lewis and their chemistry. And Kevin Glenn said he has played with so many great receivers, but never one quite as vocal as Nick Lewis, and they have been on page one, the same page, since Kevin Glenn arrived in Calgary. The trade with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. What a great insurance policy. Could there have been any better insurance policy for the Stampeders?
Great foresight. A guy that really, like I said, when he gets hot, he's white hot. There's really nobody better. He feels it. He's on a streak right now. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were playing short on that series. And watch at the bottom of your football screen, you're going to watch, looks like Ian Logan right here comes in late, and they're playing with 11. So not only do they dig themselves a hole, they're spotting them a player. It's tough to find consistency defensively when you're only playing with 11. Embarrassing is what it is. People losing focus.
Well, the Blue Bombers know this is playoff football for them. They cannot lose. Basically have to run the table. This final 4 weeks, try to get to 8 and 10. 2nd and 1. Levi Mitchell depends on the spot here. He didn't have a great second push, but
that
from
first
here
push,
he might not have it.
Yeah, Rod, it's right in front of us, and that push, the first initial push was stuffed. And then you kind of feel your way for that little opening, and there wasn't much there for Bo Levi to slide into and push downfield. And that's an ugly place to be. I say that often when I call games. Playing the position of quarterback in the short yardage situations. And they did that on 2nd down so they can try it again, and pretty much a gimme, and they'll do the same thing here. But boy, that is a tough place to be, man, trying to pick up that 1st down in short yardage situations. Everybody's taking shots at the quarterback.
Bo Levi Mitchell, just 22 years old, played a lot of games under the Friday Night Lights. Famous Katy High School in Texas. There it is, 3rd down, and it looks like he got it. He ended up in the backfield, but it looks like the spot melt.
When I played, we didn't have substitutions in those short yardage situations. A lot of teams are going to putting in the backup quarterback, so they're taking the punishment, which is just proof in the pudding that it is a beast up in there when you're trying to dig out that yard in short yardage situations. You ask Schultze back in the studio, or Doug Brown, boy, those big boys are banging heads and submarining. Guys are coming over the top, and they're hitting flush shots on the quarterback 24/7 in those short yardage scenarios.
Glenn back in, slings it to the far side. And
great second effort.
Great second effort.
For it.
The former Bomber gets knocked on his can.
This is right at you. It's coming to you live, folks, in your living rooms.
Boom.
Even the official was knocked down on the sidelines. Romby Bryant was catching some flack from some Bomber fans before the ball game. I found it pretty interesting because he was engaging in the banter back and forth and actually stirring the pot a bit. But no love lost from Romby Bryant and the fans here in Winnipeg.
Cornish again. Again, very close to another 1st down. Well, the acclaimed series, engraved on a nation.
Can't wait for that one.
Yes. Kid Anthony Calvillo, his story Thursday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, engraved on a nation, the documentary series.
You heard I gave him a new nickname last week.
What's that?
And you repeated it. It's not AC, it's AT.
I like that.
Time.
I like that.
All time.
Yeah, I like that.
That's phenomenal. Love watching him play.
Glenn, deep drop and a deep toss. In traffic. Almost picked off. Boy, Kevin Glenn seems to be really going at Romby Bryant. This time, the Bombers get the knockdown.
Alex Suber was in coverage, and it's a wheel route, and And you're going to watch the wheel route unfold in front of you. Romby, number 83, kind of goes to the, it looks like he's just running a seam and got a terrible release. And then Zuber runs right into Logan, who had a beat on the interception, getting away themselves. The Bomber secondary there. Good coverage by Zuber. Just unfortunate that Logan couldn't come clean and make that pick.
Another second down. Glenn fakes one way, goes the other. Great play. And another first down. Mo Price, head down.
Mo Price. That's a good name for a football player. Mo Price. Mo money.
Momentum right now.
Timing right there, too. This is hit and miss right here. A little hit screen. You watch how the Winnipeg defender recognizes it right off the bat. And the hit screen, such timing. Watch Glenn. Ball's out. Slips it to Mo Price, and right there, kick out block, gives the receiver enough room to find some space and knife the Winnipeg defense.
5.5 to go before halftime. Stampeders marching again. Cornish, right side this time. Now we'll have to go the other way. And Sean Cornish, when it looked like he was stopped for a loss, at positive yardage again. Such has been the season for number 9.
You can almost hear him saying that, whoop, 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 and turning around and going 360 and just making something out of nothing. He's been able to do that quite often this year. He's pressing the hole, his back's to pressing, looking for some space, nothing there. Belly's back and then puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield, which he does a phenomenal job of. Lowers his shoulders and picks up 5 yards.
Another critical second down here for the Bomber defense. 2nd and 5. And they are going to hold the Calgary Stampeders to a field goal attempt. Rene Paredes is going to come out again.
Sun's right in a spot here on a quick slant. Kevin Glenn, we've seen him run it a couple times already to several different receivers. Marquay McDaniel, Nick Lewis, Romby Bryant. That's been a key play for him. Ball's thrown with timing here. I don't think Nick Lewis can actually pick it up because the sun's right in his eyes. It's a back shoulder throw. Tough catch, couldn't make it. And here's Paredes.
"15 of his last 16. 16 of 17. Great season for Rene Paredes. Stamps lead 19-7. Damon Washington, really, since the early going, the Chad Simpson touchdown brought Winnipeg some life, but that ball that went off of Chad Simpson's grill early in the game has really deflated the start for the Blue Bombers. Now Damon Washington up near midfield. And Washington trying to make amends from an earlier miscue. Kevin Glenn, his team on top of the Blue Bombers right now in score and certainly in ball control. Look at this.
If you're Winnipeg, boy, you're pressed to make hay when the sun's up and you got a chance and have the football. The first quarter was atrocious. They got a little help from Calgary at the beginning of the second quarter. It's actually sparked this football team. Now they got good field position thanks to Damon Washington.
All right side goes Chad Simpson with running room. And the first down. The funny thing is, Matty, you've been around this game for a long time on both ends of this. You go back to the last time they met, Winnipeg never got going. They only scored 3 points. Funny thing about this game, it had all the makings of one of those slaughters again.
Yeah.
Winnipeg scores on this drive. They are right in this thing.
Absolutely. Down by 5 if they'd be able to put a major on the board here.
The Blue Bombers right now in score and certainly in ball control. Look at this.
If you're Winnipeg, boy, you're pressed to make hay when the sun's up and you got a chance and have the football. The first quarter was atrocious. They got a little help from Calgary at the beginning of the second quarter. It's actually sparked this football team. Now they got good field position thanks to Damon Washington.
All right side goes Chad Simpson with running room. And the first down. The funny thing is, Matty, you've been around this game for a long time on both ends of this. You go back to the last time they met, Winnipeg never got going. They only scored 3 points. Funny thing about this game, it had all the makings of one of those slaughters again.
Yeah.
Winnipeg scores on this drive. They are right in this thing.
Absolutely. Down by 5 if they'd be able to put a major on the board here. And I wouldn't have said that was going to happen at the beginning of the football game. Defense did a nice job of bending, not breaking there on that last drive.
Elliott, here's the rush, and Chris Matthews is wide open. Matthews goes the other way and down to the 10-yard line. Joey Elliott stood in, but he's slow to get up. He took a shot. Joey Elliott just got jolted, but Chris Matthews makes his first catch of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's just a little kind of fake bubble screen, shades of last week when they got Montreal looking in the backfield. He takes one right in the mouth. Take another look at that.
And they score again. Chad Simpson, another touchdown.
Here we go.
Who would have seen this turnaround now? And the turnaround now. And the Blue Bombers rally back. And their 13th man has also arrived.
Another gaping hole up the middle for Chad Simpson. Sheds a potential tackle on the backside and walks in. Joey Elliott takes one in the teeth the play before setting up the run. The Bombers are right back in it.
Crazy game.
Got up off the canvas and saying, we're here. It's going to be a long game. Hope you brought a lunch.
Crazy game. Like,
yeah,
the mistakes, the miscues early on, and you can still hang in, and maybe some of that energy from last week is starting to come back to the Winnipeg team. Fumbled early in the ball game, costly. Talk about redemption. 2 touchdowns.
39 over me, 42 outside.
And now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers find themselves right back in this first half when it looked like they were going to go through what they did a month ago in Calgary when they got walloped.
Nothing more gratifying for quarterback to take one in the mouth, which is questionable in itself in today's game, and what we've seen here in Bomberland. But deliver, setting up a big touchdown, putting the football team back in the contest.
There goes Armstead, and he's tripped up near the 30-yard line. 2.5 to go before halftime.
This is the play I'm referring to. Joey Elliott takes a shot here, but delivers. And you're going to watch here. You're going to have Chris Williams. He's going to slide out here in the little bubble screen, and all 3 of these defenders will attack the bubble screen and just leave Matthews wide open. And you watch how Elliott stares there, pumps it. They all jump, and right up over the top, there you got Matthews screaming all by himself. Joey takes one in the chops, puts the ball on Matthews. Next play, Simpson in the end zone. We got a ball game.
Yes, we do. Matthews scored last week on a similar play in Montreal. And the Bomber defense rising up. Marquay McDaniel stopped by last year's most outstanding defensive player in the CFL, Javon Johnson.
Oftentimes, statistics will lie. And
no
here,
kidding.
pretty much doing that. 14 offensive plays compared to 36, and time of possession is just sick.
And you know what else was not on there?
5 points.
Turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. That could even add to the mix and be more deceiving.
Right now, the Blue Bombers with Mears down 5. This time McDaniel takes a hit and hangs on and has a first down. He'll move the sticks. Another critical second down toss from Kevin Glenn is converted.
There's one thing I miss about playing the game, Rod. It's executing. And watching Kevin Glenn throw to Marquay McDaniel here in the first half, it's making me yearn to go out there and chunk it around. And because these guys are having fun pitching and catching here in the first half.
We're still in playing shape, man. I've seen that arm. So on first down, the carry from John Cornish, about half the first down yardage.
I did not mean to go there. It's not about me. It's about Kevin Glenn continuing to find a guy he's familiar with, and Marquay McDaniel's knifing it in there with precision, timing, accuracy. And his team needs it right now. He needs to be even better if that's possible, because momentum has definitely shifted for the Bombers here in the second quarter.
Yeah, very slow start. Ran cold. Gave the Stampeders a couple gifts. Second down conversion time again. Good protection and hanging on. What a catch by the veteran Nick Lewis.
This is absolutely fun to watch. I don't even care if you're not a Stampeder fan. This is fun to watch. The precision here. It's a nice route by Nick Lewis, giving us inside, pushes him here. Well, he doesn't even push him hard. He just runs away from Javon Johnson, and the ball's thrown with such accuracy that Nick Lewis, all he does is stick his hands on the ball, just lands right in there softly. Kevin Glenn is feeling it, having a phenomenal first half, but we got a close football game.
He is feeling it. Great precision, high percentage. Here's the rush again, and out of the backfield. Now Robbie Bryant can walk. Bryant down to the 10-yard line. Another big play from the Calgary Stampeders, who battle back now and have created quite a response to Winnipeg's last touchdown.
Yeah, this is touch. This is touch. He showed you touch to Lewis. Watch him here in the pocket. Going to kind of slide to his left and just find a touch on the numbers. Very accurate. Finding Robbie Bryant, open space, chewing up yardage in big chunks here on this drive.
22-yarder.
What an answer for the Calgary Stampeders. A little confusion. Glenn's going to call timeout.
Well, we're a minute 21 away from halftime, and we'll send it to the guys in the studio. A doubleheader Saturday, GMC Live at the half. Dave Randorf, Milt Stiegel, Doug Brown, former Bomber. A lot of number 97 jerseys still in this house, and Chris Schultz.
Some girth in that studio today with Brown and Schultz in the same, taking up a lot of that 4,000 square foot space with those boys. Yeah,
there it is.
A lot of those jerseys here.
Yeah,
I think there's actually more 97s than 85s.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, I just did. I'm just stirring the pot.
It's
heck
on
is
now.
breaking loose back in the studio.
It's on.
97s are dominating 85s
About
here.
some 16s out there, too. First and goal. Glenn has the man, and McDaniel lunges. And the Stamps are saying touchdown, but the officials are saying 1-yard line.
Wow. Kevin had McDaniel out of the backfield much earlier. I thought he was in. The officials are kind of talking about it, but we'll get another look here. Here's Marquay. Excellent first half. Reaches out. Watch him dive for the sticks. That's touchdown.
That's touchdown.
That ball's in the cone there. That's touchdown, in my opinion.
Great play by Marquay McDaniel. Great drive, really, from Marquay McDaniel and Kevin Glenn.
An answer drive, too, Rod,
Huge
to the
response.
Bombers saying, not today. Not now. We're going to stem the tide here, and we're going to go down there and get it in big chunks and athletic plays. And certainly that right there, fabulous play by Marquay McDaniel's had an awesome first half.
When John Huffnagel has that challenge flag out, all scoring plays are reviewed, but because that wasn't deemed a scoring play, it wasn't officially called a touchdown.
John's going to go talk to him about it. He's going to look. Foxy. This is what's going on. I think that's a score. Check it out.
Calgary is challenging the ruling on the play. They believe it was a touchdown. We will review the play.
Hey, even Foxy's got pink whistles going there. I love that.
Got to be a Fox 40 pink whistles.
It is. We know it is. Best whistles out there.
That is a tremendously athletic, never mind athletic, acrobatic.
You're just looking at his back left foot as it drags. Watch his left foot. He extends. Javon's trying to get across. He's late. Ball touches. I think his foot's still up in the air. Go with our initial thought there, Rod. I think you and I are both agreeing. All right, there. Give it to him. Give it to him. A little late there. I'm giving it to him. But Marquay makes things happen when he does get the football and extends, knows where the end zone is. Love the football awareness by McDaniel there. It's just having a note. You've heard the term before, nose for the end zone. A lot of guys might have not extended that way.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
the ruling on the field is overturned. Touchdown.
So
there it is.
Successful challenge overturned, and third touchdown of the season. And you said it, Matt Donegan. Big answer by the Calgary Stampeders.
That was gorgeous drive led by veteran quarterback Kevin Glenn, getting her done. Illinois State, 12 years in the league, You call him 500, whatever you want, but he's been money today. Huge drive when the tide seemed to be totally switching in Winnipeg's favor. He took it down and knifed the defense and said, not this half.
Again, back in McMahon Stadium a month ago, Stamps led 27-0 at the half. It's 26-14. Now, because they did challenge and that call in the field overturned a successful touchdown, you know, they have given Winnipeg a little more time here, a minute 15 to work with, so the Blue Bombers technically can put some more points on the board.
Yeah, and see if Calgary continue to go with the man-to-man coverage or if they'll play a little soft, mushy prevent defense. And if that's the case, I expect Joey Elliott to have a good series here and march the football up the field if Calgary is passive and goes to a zone concept, because that's where Joey excels. And it's always a fine line for defensive coordinators to kind of gauge as to what they want to do and not lose momentum or an edge defensively. Do they play the prevent or they continue to be aggressive and force the issue?
Yeah, a lot of quarterbacks, boy, they lick their chops when that zone defense is out. And a lot of different story this week. And the ball falling off the tee for Joey Elliott.
When people play zone defense, it's typically cover four people deep. You have 4 people underneath and you have 4 rushers. Oftentimes that's the case, or they may drop even more, rush 3 and drop 9. You know where the zones are in the soft, mushy parts in the zone. You just continue to feed the rock in there, and it's clockwork. All quarterbacks know that, and you just go to work on it, and you have a lot of fun doing it.
There's the kick. And Johnny Sears brings it up near the 28-yard line. So.
Did you hear that? That's just football right there. Just the shoulder pads clicking.
Violent ballet.
Hit.
Minute 9 to go, and the Bombers would, really have prevented a potentially disastrous first half.
Yeah, they were just getting up off the canvas, and Calgary said, boom, and pummeled them one time, put a major on the board, kind of stemmed the tide a bit.
Let's see again if they go man-to-man or play zone here.
Looks like they're playing man-to-man. Cutting the corner, playing 3-hole cut.
Elliott's in trouble. Joey Elliott now takes off and is hit hard. Sandwich there, and might have thought better to get rid of that football, but he was looking for some daylight. Charleston Hughes.
You don't want to. That's like a fire plug.
He eats quarterbacks for breakfast. This guy.
Yes, he does. He does so many things for the Stampeder defense, but they ran 3-hole cut there. That's cover 3 deep, hold to the field, which is a halfback, field side halfback, to the area outside the boundary of the field. Corner cuts to the area outside to the short side, and the halfback goes deep. 3 people deep, 5 people underneath, rushing 4. Little football 101.
Messer Dunnigan, 2nd and 10. Elliott again, pocket collapses, and over the top. Look at this. And inside Calgary territory, one of the biggest offensive plays, Joey Elliott to Terrence Edwards.
And you said it, pocket collapsing. Joey keeps his eyes downfield. Always a tell sign if the quarterback's lost it or not. He keeps his focus downfield and finds Edwards for a huge gain.
Clock ticking, though. Bombers have to get one to the house if they can. Matthews.
Little subtle thing there. Joey looks to the bubble screen with Chad Simpson on in that route, and then he kind of sticks it to Matthews in. Nice job of using his eyes. Joey Elliott showing you a lot of poise here and composure, finishing this half here, working the defense of Calgary.
His deep threat has been Matthews, and now Elliott is down.
Charleston Hughes coming around. Motor just doesn't stop.
2nd down and 2. Justin Pilardi is kind of looking over at Tim Burke. Blue Bombers are going to take a timeout. This is registered as a sack.
I believe Charleston's right here. He's going to go up and around and come back and fold underneath as Joey tries to step up. Out and around. Comes back, continues to using his motor and moving his legs and getting to the quarterback and pulls him down. Well, that was a sack, wasn't it? It's outstanding.
3rd and 5. Pilardi's going to watch now. Because the Bombers are going to go for it with 18 seconds left before halftime. Lost 3. Elliott rolls left, and here's the rush again. Now he looks right. Joey Elliott's in all kinds of trouble, and he throws it to the sideline.
He's got Maynor on the sideline.
Kenny Maynor, however, is not an intended receiver, and that ball did not make it to the line of scrimmage with no one around.
Nobody.
They're going to call this grounding.
Absolutely.
Winnipeg, number 14. Third down.
That will be third. That's a loss of down now. So after that, Calgary still has a chance now.
It's third down, so you can't lose it down. Turnover.
Ball is turned over on down.
Ball is turned over, and look at this with 10 seconds to go. Now the Stamps could take a knee here and play for the second half, but they got a chance for a shot and maybe even a field goal.
I'm surprised they didn't send out Bo Levi Mitchell here and see if they can chunk one in the end zone. Probably take a shot here, maybe move the chains, get in possible field goal position, and kick a field goal and put 3 on the board before the half.
Well, that was not well executed by the Blue Bombers by any stretch, just when it looked like they might add to their tally. They're going to possibly give up more points here before halftime. Glenn, quick hitter. But it's a one-hopper.
Yeah, he never had it. I watched Kevin Glenn receive that ball from the center, and he never had the ball right in his hand. And when he threw it, the thing just nosedived right off the start. Oftentimes in the shotgun, when you got a quick hitter like that, you're really trying. Watch him. He never gets really laces, and then boy, it doesn't come out, and he knows it.
So they're going to try again. That only gave up 2 seconds. Rene Paredes' longest field goal of the season is only 46. Trying to get a few more yards here, but they're not going to do that. This is going to be a lengthy field goal for Rene Paredes. Over 50 yards.
Bit of a breeze too, all right.
It looks like, it's funny though, the wind swirls here. And
yeah, here comes Bo Levi, so they're going to do what I anticipated them doing earlier. A little Hail Mary to the football field. You're going to see Bo Levi's arm strength here. I'm not sure if he's been over there warming up, but he's going to have to uncork one here. Just approximately 50 yards to get it to the end zone. It's nothing for a strong-arm quarterback like Mitchell.
He loads up now. Bo Levi Mitchell heaves one to the end zone. Jump ball picked off. That's the first half. A terrible start for the Blue Bombers, but they were able to hang in, put some points on the board. Still, the Calgary Stampeders, impressive first half. They put 26 on the board. GMC Live at the half is next. Calgary leads the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or should we say Chad Simpson, 26-14. He's with Sarah Orleski.
Chad, the first quarter and the second quarter, this offense looked quite different just in the ability to get at least something going. What is it that's struggling, that this team is struggling with right now?
Again, story been all year with us, just consistency and shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, with our minutes turnover that we don't have, we shouldn't be in this game. That's how I know we the better team. If we just take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves, and we'll win way more games.
How difficult is it to make adjustments and address that at the half?
Not at all. You know, just going back to the fundamentals. You know, I mean, me, of course, with ball security, you know, return team, we have to catch the ball in the air, you know, just small things like that. You know, defense, keep away from penalties. We do all that. You know, we go back to the basics again. We will beat a lot of teams.
Thank you.
Well, he said it. Ball security, ball protection. Kevin Glenn, outstanding first half. High percentage. Story of Kevin Glenn this season, coming in as insurance really to Drew Tate. Tate goes down, game 1 of the season. And then it's Kevin Glenn's team, and so far, he's been making good on it. TSN, home of the 100th Grey Cup, with Sarah Orleski and Matt Dunnigan. Rod Black with you on a Saturday afternoon. Game 1 of our doubleheader here today. Canadian Stadium, the second last game in the second year of the farewell to the Winnipeg Stadium. They'll move to their new digs next year. And the Blue Bombers need a much better start, needless to say, Matt, than they had at the beginning of this game.
Wow. It's not not much to choose from right there, except for Simpson a couple times, some gaping holes that the offensive line provided for him. But boy, those numbers have got to almost quadruple in order for this football team, I think, to be successful here against Calgary in the second half here. But abysmal first quarter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
That has been a story this season of a lot of points in their first half. The differential in their first halves for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Calgary Stampeders, night and day this year. Blue Bombers going into this game negative 147. It's almost unheard of.
Did you say negative?
Negative
147
points in the differential. Down 12 here. Elliott in trouble again, has to run now and throws it. Coming back to the football, but unable to make the catch. Chris Matthews.
You know, earlier in the season when Joey Elliott was just making his return to the lineup after year-ending knee surgery last season.
Against this very team.
Absolutely, right here in front of us, too, on an interception return. And he didn't look like he possessed a lot of mobility. Here I see him much more fluid, moving around, buying himself some time, escaping. Now, not productive on that play, but certainly bought himself time where he's not taking shots and can extend plays. I like to see that. It means the player's getting healthy, getting back to 100%.
Blue Bombers will have the wind here in this third quarter, which is starting to pick up. Jason Armstead picks up some steam. Armstead goes the other way, and now some daylight, and brought down from behind by Javon Johnson. Otherwise, Jason Armstead was bound for the end zone.
Just absolutely love Jason Armstead and what he brings to the table year in, year out, no matter what team. And offensively, I think a really special first half for the guy right in the middle of your screen, Kevin Glenn. He was dialed in. He was extremely accurate, whether it was zone, man, or blitz pressure in his face. He found ways to deliver the ball on timing with great accuracy.
Nick Lewis told me yesterday the thing that he loves is we see Cornish go up the middle again. Enoch Mwamba made the contact. But Nick Lewis said yesterday about Kevin Glenn, as opposed to all the other quarterbacks he's had, and he's had some good ones he's played there with, says that Kevin Glenn never gets rattled.
And that's huge. And when you're taking your lead from your quarterback, staring him in the eyes like everybody is right there, watching him when things are tough, stuff's hitting the fan, and he doesn't change his attitude, he's just consistent. Boy, that really levels out a lot of young football players and helps tremendously. 2nd and
5, and on the far side, John Forzani stopped short of the first down and in a lot of pain. And he is going to crawl to the sideline, it looks like. Maybe his ankle, calf perhaps, but John Forzani in a lot of pain here.
Big play capable receiver, always providing for him down the football field in big chunks. He was used underneath in that situation. Suber just kind of ran up on him. Take another look at it. Good leverage by Suber. And then right here, I think his ankle gets caught and kind of popped. Nowhere to move, and he kind of rolled over with his foot stuck in the ground right here, right there. You see it roll to the inside, and that's going to put anybody down. The guy that depends on his speed. He's slowed down tremendously with a blow like that.
Needs some help from his teammates. We'll try to get an update on Johnny Forzani. So the Stampeders drive stalls there. 3rd and 3. Rob Maver set to punt it away. Spiraling kick, handling it out of bounds and near the corner. And the Blue Bombers will bring their offense out on the field. Calgary leading 26-14 in Winnipeg. And it's Pink Day today, Pink Weekend.
We're not going to be able to see that view very much longer, are we, Rod?
No, we will be south of this city next year. Stadium that was supposed to be built this season to be delayed. Joey Elliott hangs in again and wide open with tons of room. Terrence Edwards cuts it back. Edwards still on his feet. Terrence Edwards won't go down. What a play.
That was Sandlot right there at the end.
And credit Joey Elliott for finding a wide open Terrence Edwards.
Typically, you're going to watch a lot of rub routes. We call offensively. Defenses call them pick routes. Watch how deep this rub route happens downfield. Typically, they're closer to the line of scrimmage. There it is right there, right in your face. And then and you can see Edwards slide out this way, and he's wide open. That was about 20 yards downfield. Typically, rubs happen about 5 to 6 yards down the football field. This one happened a good 15, 20 yards downfield. Took some time to actually unfold, but when it did, big play for the Bombers.
50-yarder matches Terrence Edwards' biggest of the season. Edwards was a factor last week at a touchdown against the Alouettes, and here come the Blue Bombers again. A key second down conversion. Again, this is a team that is not very good on second down.
Double tights hurry up here, Rod.
Elliott, and they'll counter again. Into the 25-yard line goes Terrence Edwards. And so the Bombers succeed on a second down and take it close to the red zone.
Yeah, it gives the Calgary Stampeders something different, too. Double tights, 3 to the field, 1-on-1. Brandon Smith and Terrence Edwards. Talk about Kevin Glenn delivering a ball with accuracy and timing. That one by Joey Elliott right on the money.
Bombers came into this game ranked last in the league in second down conversions at 39%. The league average is just barely under 50. 1st and 10 inside the 25. Play action. Another completion. And another Winnipeg first down.
Yeah, this is awesome. You know, again, double tights, different look for the defense. Joey Elliott feeling it. You can see him right in here. All double tights, one-on-one out here. He's going to stick it. Little play fake to Chad Simpson. Watch this. Play fake, get up on top of it, deliver it with poise and confidence, throw a strike, move the chains. Well, they're in a nice rhythm here offensively for Winnipeg right now.
Clarence Denmark makes the catch. First and goal. Give it back. Maybe 3 times a charm. This has been Chad Simpson territory so far.
Yeah, they've seen something down here, Rod, in this territory, in the score zone. Boy, they're just gutting Calgary right in the middle, taking advantage of it. Very nicely done with the big boys up front for the Bombers, and Sorensen getting her done, and Greaves and Morley really gutting Calgary right here in this score area.
So will they go back to Chad Simpson, or is this a throw zone here? Elliott in the shotgun. 2nd and goal. Elliott's going to throw. Hangs in. A deep route corner. And it is picked off. Keon Raymond has the interception.
Keon Raymond playing Sam linebacker, runs the route beautifully and comes out with a huge turnover for the Calgary defense.
Snuffs out some serious Winnipeg momentum. Joey Elliott throws the pick. Keon Raymond with his 4th of the season.
Yeah, this is pretty simple. This is a nice bunch route. You're gonna have Matthews here, and you have Edwards coming over the top. He's right here doing this route. Watch this as it unfolds. Joey's gonna kind of slide to his left, slide protection. Stop right there. You've got Matthews. He's wide open, and so is Edwards over the top. But Joey Elliott doesn't get enough air on it, and then the ball comes right down in Keon Raymond's hands. Just a poor throw by Elliott causing a turnover.
That was Elliott's most impressive drive of the afternoon. Evaporates, and John Cornish romps for some big yardage, almost 25 yards on the play.
And he claps his hands afterwards because in open field he gets taken down by a smaller man, Jovan Johnson, who was really a good tackler in space, and he was right on John Cornish, and I think John wanted to maybe punish him a little bit in space here. He breaks the tackle in the initial line of scrimmage. Then here, instead of just burying his shoulder and running over the smaller Javon Johnson, he kind of lets Javonson get the upper hand on the tackle.
23-yard scamper from Cornish. And moving closer to the all-time record by a Canadian running back. And not this time. He's going to lose yardage.
Hesitation.
Driven backwards. This time they read that play perfectly. Let's go down to the sideline once again and join Sarah Orleski. Sarah.
Well, Rod, a big loss for the Stampeders offense. Johnny Forzani's day is done today. He's got ice on the left ankle, high ankle. He's tried to step on it, try to put some pressure on it, but the leg appears to give out whenever he does. And you said when the injury happened that he looked like he was in a tremendous amount of pain, and I can tell you that he continues to look that way on the sideline. There is no doubt he's in a lot of pain over here.
Sarah, I can tell you that that's disappointment as well, settling in for Johnny Forzani, because a high ankle sprain, well, that can take a long time to come back from.
Kenny Maynor with the sack on Kevin Glenn. First sack for the Blue Bombers today. One of the sack-leading teams in the Canadian Football League. Maynor brings down Glenn.
Off the edge. Check it out. Kenny Maynor getting her done. Good takeoff. Nobody, I mean, come on. Nobody touches it. You know, and hey, good on you, Kenny, for getting it done, but you got to get a hat and a hat there and slow him up just a little bit.
He was on the runway there, his 4th sack of the season.
Looked like Usain Bolt coming out of the blocks. Unabated to the quarterback.
Rob Maver, boy, he's had some good kicks into this wind. And it looks like more yards. It is. 15-yard penalty. Good field position again for the Blue Bombers. Trying to come back from that pickoff.
Raising money like that. It's been the best promotion we've had going, and Schultz is leading the way on that, and absolutely helps out so many people at Pure Layer Tackle.
He's the lead truck driver, I think.
Well, he's pushing a shopping cart or a truck. He's making it happen in that promotion.
Good on him. And Chris Matthews snares one in Calgary territory. Since Joey Elliott has come out of the locker room, his percentage certainly has increased, and he has gained some confidence despite that interception.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing here. They're basically going to pretty much no-huddle offense and hurry up anyways, trying to put and keep Calgary on their heels, which I think they've had on their heels for a good, well, since the second quarter.
And off up the gun again.
Go, kid, go.
And Chad Simpson took a number of shots, but maybe again half the first down yardage. It was a difficult start for Joey Elliott in that first half. But look at the third quarter numbers.
Yeah, and that's the gunslinger mentality that he brings to the table. We said earlier, when Joey Elliott's hot, he's hot. And when he's not, he's trying to figure out the game, and he's hesitant, and he's not pulling the trigger with timing. But he gets rid of the football. That's what Coach Cruton likes about him, offensive coordinator, first-year offensive coordinator for the Bombers, and this kid just going to keep slinging it because he believes in himself and his abilities.
Back to Simpson, and he'll move the sticks, it looks like.
They're having success up the middle, the Bombers' offensive line in that running game. I don't think they should go away from it. In fact, I'd lean on it a little bit more. You're getting down in the field zone here, in the red zone, where they've really had some tendencies by Calgary where they're able to exploit right up that middle with Chad Simpson and the big boys up front. I'd look for them to continue to do that the duration of this football game, because they've got Calgary on their heels, and that run game looks solid, particularly between the tackles. Nothing feels greater for those big boys to have the load put on their shoulders and let them work their way downfield, pounding people off the ball.
Bombers continue to move the football here in the second half. Tight formation. 3 men in motion. Elliott decides to go to the air. And into traffic, and it's picked off. Eric Fraser. And that was an easy one for the free safety for the Calgary Stampeders. A penalty flag after that. And Joey Elliott moving his offense, successive drives, but again, both of them extinguished by pickoffs. Second pick for Eric Fraser.
After the interception, tripping on Winnipeg. First down.
So the Blue Bombers give it up again, 26-14 Calgary. Joey Elliott's on the blower, but again, the Blue Bombers blew it.
I know what Coach Cruton, Gary Cruton's talking to him about right now. And boy, earlier he had man-to-man coverage when he found Terrence Edwards on the rub play 20 yards downfield, which I illustrated. And on that play, they tried to run the exact same play into zone coverage. Elliott's fooled, that throws it right in the hands of Calgary defender.
Glenn almost picked back by Johnny Sears.
That's why Johnny is backpedaling as opposed to receiver. That one hit him right in the zero, right between the numbers. It's a tough catch because he's falling down, going to back. He's isolated. He's just going to fall back. Back pedals, ball, boink. That's all right. Sometimes surprise can put it on the ground. I think that's what happened. The ball just exploded on him there. He wasn't expecting it.
Big break for the Stampeders here. The Bombers, by the way, have committed 5 turnovers already. The record not good when they commit more turnovers than their opposition. Kevin Glenn dancing. And Glenn and the Stampeders are going to have to kick it away again with 3.5 to go here in this third quarter. Kevin Glenn comes up limping, but will head to the sideline. Did not find anyone home.
That's, Kevin Glenn looks like he's limping off a little bit there as he gets laid up on that tackle, and they want to see that. I don't think that Drew Tate is 100% yet. You're going to have a true rookie in there, and Bo Levi Mitchell if Glenn's hampered in any way, shape, or form.
Again, no DeMond Washington back for Winnipeg. Javon Johnson back in the sunshine. And dropped there.
I talked you through the rub route, a successful play. Watch how they run it here in man-to-man coverage. As you run the play through here, you're going to see a pick over the top of the football field happen about 15 yards downfield right there. And then you're going to see the man come in here, ball spotted to him in man-to-man coverage. This is why it works. You pick the man, the other guy runs free, and here's zone coverage. You watch the defenders drop off into zone. Elliott's trying to run the same pattern route into zone coverage, and here comes the pick right there, and the man just steps up in front of it and goes the other way. Got to recognize the difference between man and zone. Elliott got caught
there. Foot race, Chad Simpson. He's had a good day despite that earlier fumble. He had a couple of touchdowns and a lot of yardage, and that time bursting outside, Chad Simpson picks up a first down.
Showed some pop and explosion there in those legs.
Blue Bombers again without Canadian receiver Corey Watson, not in the lineup, so playing an extra American receiver on offense. Lawrence Denmark hauls it in near the 40-yard line. Let's go down to Sarah once again.
Well, Rod, I'm joined now by Jim Bell, Vice President, Chief Operating Officer of the Bombers. Only the final regular season game here at Canadians, but it's also the Hall of Fame game. It's a great weekend that the CFL looks forward to. Can you give us an idea of what fans can expect?
Certainly. November 1st through 3rd is the Canadian Football Hall of Fame weekend. As an organization, we're so proud to host it, and of course leading up to the final game here against Montreal Alouettes. We have a breakfast on the Friday morning, of course the gala dinner on Friday night, a bust unveiling, and for all our fans across the country and in Winnipeg, looking forward to going. Just check our website for all details.
And this couldn't be a more perfect scenario for Bombers fans here in this city because of the Winnipeg connection with the inductees.
Oh, absolutely. The class of inductees is very, very special. It's a tremendous class this year, but of course with the late Tyrone Jones going in and of course number 85, Milt Stegall, it's great for Bomber fans. So it'll be a great few days, and we encourage everybody to get tickets for the events. And we have a great sponsor with Manitoba Lotteries.
Great. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Always a great time, the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. You know about that. Young man,
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
You can't forget about Damon Allen. I mean, he's going in, and originally the ceremonies were supposed to happen in Toronto. Won't get into that, but they've been moved to Winnipeg, and would have been great for Damon if things could have happened there in Toronto and 100th Grey Cup celebration. That was the plan. That didn't come through, so Winnipeg stepped up and really doing a nice job of throwing out the red carpet for a Hall of Fame induction once again, which I had tremendous success with several years ago.
Again, Milt Stegall, Ty Jones, the late Tyrone Jones, Jack Abenchen, Damon Allen, Eric Lapointe, Pete Cannellan, longtime coach, and
Procedure.
David Braley, the senator
formation.
and
That
owner
penalty's
of
declined. Second
the
down.
Argos and BC Lions.
Talk about a star-studded
Yes.
cast. Just
They, of course, get their buses
builder
put.
categories. We got the got the amateur categories with Eric LaPointe being represented. It's just, and then all the studs there, and Damon and Tyrone and Milton. Happy for those people.
I wonder if Milt is helping with the design of his bust. Joey Elliott. He'll say you can't get much prettier than that. Chris Matthews in tight traffic. They wanted a penalty flag. They're not getting it.
You know, we talked to Coach Tim Burke about Joey Elliott having to be good in man-to-man coverage this year and spotting the football. Here's Chris Matthews. This is what Burke's talking about. You know, when man-to-man coverage, the ball's got to be thrown a certain spot, and the ball's thrown on this outside shoulder, what's got to be on the inside shoulder, because that's where Tad Cornegay is playing. You got to throw it away from the defender. Joey doesn't do that. Cornegay is able to make a play. It's exactly what Burke alluded to about Joey having to step up in the man-to-man and spot the ball properly.
From the Stampeders now, Armstead zigzagging all the way up to the 23-yard line. Again, a 12-point Stampeder lead, 25 seconds left here in the third quarter in Winnipeg. Well, she's got the talent, but her biggest challenge is believing in herself. Emily Owens, MD. A new series starts Tuesday at 9 on CTV2. Lovely fall day. Old man winter is going to start to...
Did the Bombers believe themselves, Rob?
Yeah, well, they have the last couple of weeks.
Tim Burke saying he's got to make Calgary believe. I think the Bombers got to make themselves believe before they can move forward.
Well, they looked like believers early in this second half, and you heard Chad Simpson about, you know, the team shooting themselves in the foot. It's twice now with pickoffs. Bombers, by all rights, should be leading the ball game right now.
Well, yeah, they've been down in the score territory, good field position, turned the football over a couple times, and that's Joey Elliott on both of them. You know, when he's good, he's good. When he's not, you know, he shows you his youth and lack of experience, and a couple of poor throws, a bad read on the last one, and it cost his football team dearly.
Last play, third quarter. Glenn's in trouble, and he's buried. Back near the 10-yard line, another sack from the Bombers sack squad. And Winnipeg should get good field position when the fourth quarter begins. But they're going to have to come back in a big way. Down 12 here at Canada Stadium.
Things magnified, but you know, I credit, you know, Ferdinand Kashama coming off the edge there, using his strengths, which is speed, and getting the job done, and forcing Calgary to punt here, giving this team potentially great field position.
Rob Maver, end over end. Javon Johnson trying to cut back. There's a penalty flag near the midfield stripe. Closed captioning is brought to you by Gibson's 100th Grey Cup commemorative whiskey, available now in limited supply at local liquor stores. So the penalty flag on this return, waiting for the official call.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 15. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And again, Javon Johnson has been handling the return duties in this second half, so we have not seen Damon Washington out there. A dangerous threat. We'll get an update on that. This will take the ball back into Winnipeg territory. And the Blue Bombers have to get something going offensively. Really, their playoff hopes, their faint playoff hopes that are still beating, rely on a W.
42, 42, sir.
Joey Elliott pulls it back, play action. And once again, Terrence Edwards takes a jolt from behind, but is pushed ahead up near the 45-yard line of the Stampeders.
Yeah, tight end formation, basically 4 wide to the field, 3 receivers wide with the tight end formation, play fake, comes back, move the pocket, launching point, get Elliott on the run, and he spots a nice ball and moving the chains. They have big play capability to put it in the end zone in a hurry, and they're going to need to do that. And tremendous field position here for the Bombers. Got to take advantage of this opportunity.
Terrence Edwards closing in on another 1,000-yard season, 131 on the afternoon. Elliott in the pocket, slings it out to the far side, and the spot will mean a first down with that towering receiver out of Kentucky, Chris Matthews.
Joey Elliott, excellent job. This is a quarterback, you know he's been schooled. He comes from a coaching family. Watch him look the defense to the left. Just keep your eyes on Joey Elliott, number 14. Looks at him, knows he wants to go to the right, comes right back with timing and throws a strike. That's knowing the defense, knowing you're going with the football, trying to work the defense with post-snap eyes, and throws a strike to Matthews.
Hand off again to Simpson. Goes up the pipe, but he is stopped in his tracks. So again, the question marks this week around to Buck Pierce. You got a chance to spend some time with Buck.
First of all, those are some killer sunglasses he's wearing. I like those. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with him yesterday, about 5 hours.
He wants to be wearing a blue and gold helmet, though.
Yes, he does. He wants the helmet on. He wants that chin strap buckled tight, and he wants to go out there and compete. But they've set him down another week. And he posed an interesting question to me yesterday. If by chance they lose today against Calgary, what are they going to do with Buck for the rest of the football season?
Elliott slings it near the goal line, and it is picked off again.
Wow.
Fred Bennett has the interception.
Wow. Tremendous play. Excellent coverage.
Joey Elliott, a third pick in this second half. And Fred Bennett has his first CFL interception at the goal line in Winnipeg.
There is Darren Durant getting a pregame drink, some pregame tunes as the Riders are getting set to roll in Edmonton. That is game number 2 of our Saturday doubleheader. Back to Winnipeg, Rod and Matt.
Again, crossover implications for sure. From west to east in the air, the Stampeders looking for win number 9. Their ball hawking secondary has certainly helped out in this second half. The Blue Bombers have had every opportunity to claw back into this game.
Did you see Glenn's passing numbers for the third quarter? 2 yards. I mean, you talk about being put on ice because he was on fire in the first half. I credit the Bombers defense for continuing to keep their football team in this game because Joey Elliott's been serving it up here, taking points off the board on a consistent basis. And the Bombers defense continues to get some 2 and outs and shut down Kevin Glenn in the second half here.
Second down 10. Glenn into traffic. Oh, threads the needle. Marquay McDaniel, another big play.
Laser shot from Kevin Glenn. Tiny little window. Watch this. You're going to see it from behind his eyes. Steps up and just slings it. Zip. Whoop.
Whoa.
Right in there. I almost got a finger on it. Marquay McDaniel, Kevin Glenn continue to find the connection here. Boy, that's confident throw. Brilliant throw. And much needed, too, because they haven't been doing anything here in the second half.
Well, and for the Blue Bombers, look at that percentage, 20 of 27. Might be put on their defense to try to force a turnover. Into traffic. Oh. And a pop. The far side, not this time, Mr. McDaniel.
Ooh, boy, they're going to try to feed that one more time. Don't get a hammy or a cramp now, Marquay. You guys are fun to watch. Y'all are on fire together. He's rubbing that left hammy. Watch this again. Glenn's moving the launching point like it. He's got people in his face and puts it out there, gives the receiver a chance, but it was the contact on the back end that knocked that ball loose. Man, it's fun to watch. Down. These guys have been special. No wonder he's cramping up because he's been utilized by Kevin Glenn. His go-to target and throwing with confidence and timing and accuracy on all different types of throws. It's been fun to watch. You know, the high execution rate between these guys that are familiar with themselves coming over from Hamilton this past year. And phenomenal pitch and catching game that these guys are having today.
You obviously had a chance to form some chemistry with some great players through the years. Who in your mind was your Robin?
David Williams.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly taught me how to do that, Hall of Famer. BK gave me the confidence of the quarterback and showed me how to develop that relationship and confidence. I took that wherever I went. The 5 other teams I played for, but David and I played on 3 teams, and he was my guy. I could throw it behind my back and know that he'd come up with a big play.
Glenn, Robbie Bryant's got it.
Wow.
What a bomb from Kevin Glenn, and that was like a GPS.
Dime. That is dropping it on a dime there. Kevin Glenn. Folks, you know, maybe 68-1 over the course of his career. Boy, he is fun to watch when he catches fire. And he's feeling this offense right now. Steps up in the pocket, beautiful protection, and throws a dime right over the outside shoulder of Robbie Bryant, who's pretty well covered by Johnny Sears. But that is a beautiful throw. Pitch and catch, making it happen. Big chunks for the Calgary Stampeders.
You know, Kevin Glenn never gets mentioned in the upper echelon quarterbacks. You know, they always talk about the Anthony Calvillos and Ricky Rays. But when he is on, as you said, when he is on, he is pinpoint. There's a miscommunication. Cornish cuts back. And yeah, through the years, and like you said, you know, he was on ice in the third quarter. Never really had a chance to get the ball very much. Winnipeg had it. But at the same time, maybe it goes back to what Nick Lewis said, is that this guy never gets rattled. He comes off ice and turns it to fire.
Yeah, he's got that mentality you like in a quarterback, short-term memory, and just goes on to the next play, next series, never gets rattled, and that's a really constant factor when you're constantly looking in his eyes and trying to draw direction from him. And Kevin Glenn has been special here in this football game.
Moving closer to sealing a W here for the Stampeders. Now Cornish goes the other way. John Cornish, unbelievable.
Tremendous pursuit by Bomber defense too. Following them all over the football field. Just trying to deny Calgary from getting on the board and moving the chains and keeping this drive alive. Rod, you know, I'm impressed by the Bomber defense. They've really been put in a tough spot by their offense several times this ball game. 6 turnovers, and they are simply saying, we're going to do everything we can to keep y'all in this game.
So a field goal possibility here. Rene Paredes has been perfect today. Still could be a 2-possession ball game with time on the clock. But Winnipeg's offense has to hang on to the football and has to find the end zone. Hang on to hope. Bombers come in, a desperate football team, basically looking to run the table in hopes of a faint playoff spot. Joey Elliott, play action. Kurt Adams is dropped there by Keon Raymond, but right now, Blue Bombers have been their own worst enemy, Matt Dunnigan.
Yeah, this is early on in the football game. Short hop, bad hop, right into Mon Washington. Ball here, Simpson puts it on the ground. Poor throw here. Got to get it out there, give a chance, receiver a chance. Misread there, and another poor throw here. Just didn't get enough on it. And those will hurt you. We're lucky to be in a 2-score game here.
That last field goal, the only points of the second half, and the Bombers, with all those turnovers, just failing to put any points up. They've been able to scratch their way back with a couple touchdowns in the first half. 6 turnovers in the game, including 4 interceptions.
Ouch. Yeah, they came in there third to last into this ball game, and giveaway takeaway ratio at -7. They couldn't find themselves at the bottom of that list by the end of this ball game.
Elliott up high, reaching forward is Clarence Denmark. 7.5. So let's go back to the ongoing saga, though. Biggest soap opera really around this football team this season has been as the buck stops here.
Yeah, he just wants to play, and you know, it's kind of like a racehorse wants to run, and he's a racehorse. He wants to run, and the question is, how's the team going to handle it if the Bombers lose here and they're diminishing hopes of making the playoffs dwindles? Are they going to put him in harm's way, or are they going to take a look at younger quarterbacks and bring him into the mix and see what maybe Justin Goltz is all about? That's the question that I think the Bombers are faced with if they don't win here today.
Well, one of the things, Matt, I don't have to tell you about this because you've been down this road before. When you're a young quarterback and you get a chance to play, whether you're second or third on the depth chart, you have to play in order
to learn.
And there's no better case study in that than the guy in BC, Travis Lula.
He's been playing pretty well. Didn't start out very well for him, but once he got a feel for it, started flexing his muscles and just letting the game come to him, did a fabulous job. And this guy, when he's healthy, there's nobody better. He's absolutely phenomenal to watch. But he's had a bad string of luck and a history of hits to the head, and concussions, and really been at the forefront this past week and the week before. And he's having some forward thinking himself now, which is a good sign, thinking about what the Bombers may do as an organization moving forward if, in fact, this football team loses this game. He brought that up with me yesterday, and I was glad to hear that, because that, to me, is a step in the right direction, him seeing a big picture, not just with him, but with the organization as well.
Did you get a sense in your conversation with Buck that he's worried about the concussions, about his football future?
No, I don't think he's there at all. And I think he sees this as a minor speed bump, and he's going to move forward and compete and play a lot of football. And I believe he feels like he's got a lot of football in front of him. And that to me is his warrior mentality, and
which he's always had.
And yeah, and that's why people are so concerned, and that's
here.
why people are embracing him and worried about where he's at right now. But they're continuing to set him down and be cautious, I think, which is a great thing, going through the protocols, and they've handled it extremely well here in Winnipeg. And Buck's been under a lot of pressure, self-induced, want to get back out there and compete.
Joey Elliott again, play action, does it himself. Hook slide. Joey Elliott, when he uses that play action, he's one of the most deceptive quarterbacks.
Yeah,
he gets a lot of cameramen moving. He gets a lot of players moving.
He's good at it.
Eyes. People in the stands are watching the running back.
Established a line of scrimmage with Chad Simpson like they have, and gutted Calgary, particularly in this field zone. Yeah, they're gonna squeeze down on that. He pulls it, and he reaches and rides. The longer he can ride that running back and then pull it out the last second, the better the play action will be.
This has been his bane, though, right here, this area today. Getting close to the red zone, the score zone, and the Bombers haven't been able to do that in the second half. They've had a number of opportunities.
This is a big 2nd and 10 conversion here. You've got to pick this up and put the ball in the end zone. I think this game will go how this play unfolds, and I really believe that this is the play of the game right now. With just under 5 minutes to go, down 15 points. Joey Elliott's got to make this happen. They could be in 3-down territory here for sure.
Again, the Calgary Stampeders have let the Blue Bombers hang around here. 15-point game, and Elliott goes down. Fumbled football. There's a whistle. And the Blue Bombers are going to wonder if Elliott was throwing that ball or not. It is fumbled. It is recovered by the Stampeders. Another Winnipeg turnover.
It was Anwar Stewart, I believe, with that. Anwar Stewart, top of the screen.
There he is.
Spin move.
First game as a Stampeder, back with Calgary. Another Stampeder turnover induced.
Baby Caleb. That's how it works. Uncle Stu. And they said I was finished.
They said he was finished in Montreal. Anwar Stewart.
A little spin move up top, number 97. Spin it, big boy. Bulky on a little twist. Both of them getting to the quarterback. Ball comes out. Was his arm going forward? Was he trying to pull it back in? That's what they're trying to decide right now.
36 years young, Anwar Stewart. Most outstanding defensive player in the league. Perennial all-star. And, a lot of people thought maybe that was it for Anwar, especially in Montreal. And Anwar Stewart last week was part of the celebration of the 2010 Alouettes team at halftime. And afterwards, he told Dwayne and I as we were walking to the lot, "You haven't seen the last of me. I'm on my way." He was on his way to Calgary.
Prophetic. That's just, and you know, that's like
Dude, he hasn't
Jason
played.
Armstead.
He hasn't played in 13 games. He hasn't played in a year.
But that's Jason Armstead for the last 4 years being called, you know, to the front of the lines to go out there and compete after being away from the game for half of a season, so to speak. So Anwar Stewart's doing it from the defensive end position and defensive line position. Jason Armstead does it from the return position, receiver position. Phenomenal the way these athletes keep themselves and keep believing in themselves about continuing their careers. And Jason Armstead and I, both before the ball game, we liken it to like being a plumber. You have skills. Somebody's got a problem, call Jason Armstead, and he'll deliver. You know, and the same with the big boy, Anwar Stewart. Somebody needs to rush in with experience and is a team leader. Anwar Stewart's your man. Credit those guys for keeping themselves in shape to make that happen.
His career began in 2001. He won a Grey Cup with the Calgary Stampeders, Anwar Stewart. And credit also the guy on the left, General Manager John Hufnagel, who has been able to patch holes. Huff sat down with us yesterday, and he still was shaking his head at all the injuries this team has been able to endure this year. And here's the verdict on that last call.
Winnipeg challenged the ruling of a fumble on the previous play. After review, it was an incomplete pass. The ruling on the field is overturned. It is 3rd and 10.
Clearly the arm was in motion, and so Joey Elliott will bring his team back on the field.
On 3rd and 10, Rod.
Yeah, and so
game on the line.
Yeah, one gasp here again.
2nd and 10, they got pressured, run a little spin move with Anwar Stewart and a little twist up front with Bulky and looked like Bolden. And imagine more of the same. Try to create some lanes and some leverage for the big boys up front by running a little twist. So you don't have to play the entire man, get some leverage, maybe just play half of them and catch a lane and see if you can't pressure Joey Elliott. 3rd and 10, game on the line.
Game on the line, really the season on the line for the Blue Bombers in their fading playoff hopes. Elliott, far side, they got to get to the first down marker. Yeah. And they do. And Kurt Adams, in just his 2nd game as a Blue Bomber, played the opening game of the season and
left all alone, Rod.
That was
short
a big play.
Side in the flat, just stick it on him. Now get upfield. Tip your head, move the chains.
Harding
no
University.
time for hesitation. Yes. He's a big boy, too. Tall kid.
6'4", 200 pounds.
Getting a chance here to play.
Bombers now need the end zone. Looking end zone, up high, jump ball, and
that did not come out right.
Looking for their giant.
You might have heard me say uh-oh when it came out of his hand, because that was the option pass. He had the option to catch either end right out of his hand. It didn't seem to come out properly. We saw that happen to Glenn earlier, couldn't get the hold. And this one just went awry from the beginning for Joey Elliott.
Flutter ball, and again here inside the red zone. Bombers with 6 turnovers today, almost a 7th. 2nd down, 3.5 to go. Elliott again has to step up, and he tosses end zone, and another interception. Are you kidding?
We're watching it. That's number 7th turnover today.
5 picks from the Calgary Stampeders. It's been a feast.
Underthrown ball again. Nice job of him stepping up in the pocket. Watch this. This is nicely done. Keeps his eyes downfield. Anwar Strum comes free right there with a great pressure and move on the outside. He keeps his eyes open, just doesn't lift it enough. Lift it to the back of the end zone, and Denmark's got a chance.
And it is 4 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and 1 turnover on down. So the 4th pick. Hard to keep track. They've thrown so many to the red and whites.
All
and
part of the
Brooks.
process of learning as a quarterback. The fact is, though, you just don't know how much more of an opportunity they're going to continue to give him, you know, to learn the game.
And there is a rush to the exits here. Calgary Stampeders 3 minutes away from picking up win number 9.
Eskimo snapped a 5-game losing streak last week. It was his first start, or his first win as a starter in Edmonton. And his game number 2, Riders, Eskimos coming up.
Back here in Winnipeg, it has been a miserable second half for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A chance to get in this game, even pick up a victory. In so many ways, they've marched the football downfield only to give it right into the arms of the Stampeders. 4 interceptions. Kevin Glenn, that's a live football. There's a penalty flag, though, downfield at the 42-yard line.
Wow. Ball's tough to hang on to here this afternoon at Ken Enid Stadium, no matter what team you're playing for. The season could be on the line. Looks like it's going against Calgary.
Holding, Calgary number 60. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So 2:41. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Winnipeg could still pull this out, but they would need a miracle or two. 15 down. Need to get it to the house quickly, get it back. And Alex Brink.
Certainly plenty of time. Plenty of time to make things happen here.
Alex Brink looks like he is
loosening up.
Got his helmet on, ready to go. 4 picks by Elliott today. They were gunning for Maver. Make that Johnny Sears. Sears brings it up near the 51-yard line. Well, our game story began with Stampeder domination early on. Game story brought to you by Mr. Lube. Get top to bottom maintenance and take good care. Kevin Glenn likes this place.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, it hasn't been a stellar day for Lewis and Cornish. You know, certainly productive, but it's just been the Bombers' miscues that has really taken them out of this football game and put themselves in a situation where they come back 15 points and 2:17 left on the clock.
Joey Elliott will stand alongside Justin Goltz and watch Alex Brink. Is there a miracle comeback here for the Blue Bombers? Chris Matthews. The funny thing is, Matty, have you ever seen a team really start almost every possession or have the ball good field position deep into an opposition territory and get snuffed out every single time?
Yeah, and you know, it's just a young quarterback trying to learn the game, and the question is, how much time are you going to give him? There's another one just chunking out there and nobody's at. These guys are trying to figure out on the fly in some pretty precarious situations too. Early in the football season, folks, just bear with me just a second. Early in the football season, you got Paul LaPolice, who's supposed to turn the offense over to Gary Croton, the new offensive coordinator, coming in with all the accolades from the United States. That really doesn't happen. They work well together because they're professionals, but then the inconsistency behind the quarterback, you know, with Buck being out and then back and forth, and then Lapo's fired, and now you bring in Gary Croton, and he can actually assert himself offensively. We've seen some steps forward, but young quarterbacks making mistakes continues to stymie the process of this offensive football team actually advancing and getting better down throughout the season.
The only thing is, and they are young quarterbacks, but it's not like they're complete greenhorns. These guys have been given opportunities before too, and maybe it also is a lack of continuity at times. Whatever it is, it should be a first down for Winnipeg. They keep it alive here. Time ticking down, and Jade Etienne, former first-round pick of the Bombers, has his first CFL catch.
And talk about a smart, educated crowd. Everybody here that's left at Ken Enid Stadium recognized that and gave him a round of applause.
His second season, no catches up until then. Brink throws it away, but you know, Brink's had some time, obviously.
Yeah.
Joey Elliott last year had time, looked like he might even be the starter for a while, and then went down with the ACL injury. You know, so much went wrong this year. Maybe the huge expectations of getting to the Grey Cup game a year ago.
Maybe false expectations, because they were falling apart, stumbling to the finish line last year. Played tough in that game, got beat by a better team, and this year really hadn't found any type of continuity whatsoever.
No rhythm at all, and Brink pump fake, and now goes to the end zone, and it's caught. Chris Matthews.
Just give the big boy a chance. This is the Canadian Football League. Anything can happen.
Yeah, but Can you believe this? I mean, they score here with a minute 26 to go, and like you say, anything can happen. They're going to kick the one-pointer here.
Yeah.
Then we'll be 8 down. And, you know, the Calgary Stampeders have had a number of chances here to also put this away a long time ago. They could have buried the Bombers.
And, you know, I credit the Bombers for continuing to fight and continue to get up and take cuts, you know, at Calgary and compete. Because this team earlier on, we didn't think that they had that fight or that type of character. You know, yes, there's been a lot of miscues, but, man, I credit this football team for continuing to fight and to compete when all odds are stacked against you. I see a lot of good things happening here.
Well, despite this turnover late in game, the Blue Bombers are an onside kick away from making it very, very interesting.
And you don't even have to, Rod.
No, you don't really, actually, with a minute 26. But a reminder, TSN, the home of NFL Sunday Night Football. Week 6 matchup sees the undefeated Houston Texans at home to take on the 2-3 Green Bay Packers. Live coverage gets underway tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, TSN Radio, the Texans and the Packers. So they're going to bring a couple of their hands guys out here. Calgary drops one player deep. And here we go. Players in motion. Here's the onside kick. And so now Calgary will get the ball.
That was ugly.
Yeah, that wasn't.
That had no chance succeeding there.
The best executed onside kick I've ever seen.
Heads up play by the Stampeders hands team, going up there and catching the ball before it goes 10 yards, which you're allowed to do. And I just thought it was a nice job. I mean, Tim's looking at it going, are you kidding me? What else can go wrong today?
It's been one of those days for the Blue Bombers.
I read his lips there. I can't repeat what he said.
You know what he said, though.
Yes.
And turnovers early, and they set the tone. Kevin Glenn, this used to be his home here in Winnipeg.
Timeout, Calgary. Prolong the insanity. You do become professional lip readers in this business.
Yes, you do. As much as you don't want to sometimes.
Yep. But, you know, you feel the frustration from Tim Burke. And he's in a tough spot, a spot where he doesn't know what the future holds for him in this football team.
Nor does this organization. I mean, General Manager Joe Mack, certainly on the hot seat.
So it's tough to make some calls and have some forward thinking and actually, you know, but so difficult position, precarious to be in if you're Tim Burke and these coaches. So that's why they're staying in the moment. I think he's done a great job of that since taking over. Fielding all the negativity and the questions with all the turmoil. I thought he's done a pretty tough, marvelous job in a tough situation.
Again, a team, this day today probably is kind of a microcosm of what they've endured all season. A little bit of good, a little bit of sunshine
Calgary,
here and there, but
81.
a lot of clouds.
Yeah.
Repeat, first down.
And
last week, huge beam of sunshine, and they just couldn't catapult that.
Yeah, but we know that stuff is going to happen.
And a fumble by John Cornish.
Yeah.
And
who recovers?
And the Bombers
recover.
Bombers recover.
And that's Javon Johnson. And they're going to take a look at this. And this ball, because they don't have to accept that penalty, they decline and take the ball. Officials going to sort this out here. It'll go, and they're going to have a chance here with the 1:18 left on the clock.
Can you believe this?
I can, Rod, because that's the Canadian Football League. And this is what the 3-minute, the way the game's set up, gives you a chance. You know, and all the fans that left, and I would say half of them have, if they're listening to Bob Irving and the boys on the radio, or, you know, I'm telling you, they're kicking themselves because the Canadian Football League gives you this opportunity more times than not to have these close finishes.
I've been in this stadium before, and a very similar thing happened against this very same team, and everybody left. It was a night game, And I remember all the cars coming back, and the Blue Bombers actually did pull it out that night. And there's a chance here in a game in a second half where they have given up
His
the
knee is not down right there.
They've given up the football so much, and now the Stampeders, this turnover.
Maynard.
If this is spotted and the ruling goes in Winnipeg's favor.
How about Javon Johnson not giving up on that? Kenny Maynard not giving up on that, costing the fumble. Foxy's, he's going, are you kidding me? Back to the headphones. Let's talk to the command center. They're getting it straightened out.
The Blue Bombers have done everything possible to lose this game today, and they could win it.
Yeah, absolutely, Rod. But they've done so many positive things, to continue to put themselves in a position to fight back. It's kind of like, you lose an arm, you're swinging with your right arm. You lose that arm, you're trying to kick them. Yeah,
it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
But, what was the song that they played in this building just before the anthem? Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, there you go. There it is. Getting the call. The Bombers think that they've got it.
This is astounding. If this indeed is the announcement, here it is. Whoever's left here, they're going to go nuts.
After review, the Calgary ball carrier did in fact fumble the football. The ruling on the field is overturned. First down Winnipeg on the 32-yard line.
Not so
Holding
fast.
penalty is declined.
And it's an old saying too, when you've got your opponent down, you've got to keep them down. The Stampeders have not been able to do that here.
Yeah. Offensively, they just hadn't been productive in the second half like they were in the first half. And I credit Winnipeg's defense for making that happen. Again, they caused a turnover themselves. Pretty decent field position here, ball in the 32. See if Alex Brink can take control of this offense and move them down the field, get a win. Or tie it up anyway.
Complete to the far side. 1:12 to go. Again, the Bombers down 8. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie.
I like the idea of moving the pocket there, giving Calgary something to consider, just not getting to a spot right behind the center, 7 yards deep.
They do have a lot of time to work with, but they have to use their clock
Look at this.
effectively here.
Picking up the first down and 2nd and 1.
And Joey Elliott barking signals out as well. He's now the cheerleader and part-time, assistant coach for Alex Brink. He's out on the field shouting out plays.
Yeah, tough afternoon for Joey.
Good teammate, though.
Position.
Brink. And
who is it?
It's fumbled. And this game should be over, we think.
Unbelievable.
Well, never mind.
DeMonte Bolden sneaking through, slinging down.
Well,
oh, man.
Another
Chalk
turnover.
it up. That's huge, though. There's a little twist in front again. Bolden just kind of splits the double team, slaps at the ball, and Brink not securing it, putting it on the ground.
Well, so much for the Blue Bombers' last gasp, and they got help from the Stampeders that time and still couldn't do it. Yet another turnover. John Cornish will protect this football this time. And we can most assuredly say, unless something absolutely extraordinary happens, that the Stampeders should seal the win now.
48 seconds on the clock. Helmets are off, scrums are happening, tempers are flying, as they should, because disgusted with the effort, the performance, the execution as a Bomber. Not so much defensively, because I thought they kept them in the game the second half. First half, they were on their heels. Well, Rod, I come back here for that Hall of Fame game that we advertised earlier. first week in November. And
unnecessary
looking forward to those
roughness.
ceremonies.
Winnipeg, number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
There goes that 48 seconds. So I'm looking forward to coming back here in the second, and honoring all the greats that are going into the Hall of Fame.
As a Hall of Famer, what does that weekend mean to you?
Well, you don't realize how much it means to you or how big it is until you actually experience it. And you may go in there feeling like, oh, okay, I'm going to go through the process here, but the process sweeps you up off your feet and you really be overwhelmed by the company and what it means and being brought into such a hallowed hall and being recognized for your efforts, whether it's on the field or off the field. Tremendous opportunity and overwhelming and certainly gratifying.
Now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers' pulse will beat very faintly after this one. They will be 4-11.
Yeah, and I wish Buck Pierce continued success in moving forward and recovering from his concussion, and tough decisions here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers moving forward and trying to stay competitive with their small window of opportunity to move into the playoffs and what to do behind the center.
And the Stampeders bounce back from that loss. Last week in BC, they looked so dominant early on in this game. Let the Blue Bombers hang around, but you cannot win football games if you give up 8 turnovers.
Absolutely, but as for the Calgary Stampeders, it's in a tough race in the West with Saskatchewan and Edmonton nipping at your heels in the race. It's a big win for them, coming over here and finding a way to get a victory. Tough place to play.
The Wild West is wild this year. BC Lions leading the charge, and final 3 weeks after this, who knows what will play out.
The Bombers dropped to 3-5 at home, which is not very good. Say good riddance on early November to Canada Stadium. Look forward to Investors Field moving forward with hopefully a fresh start in a new stadium. Beautiful facility, Rod.
Just one of those wacky games today. Field goal attempt here and should seal this game. There it is again, has been right down the middle. Money again. And that most assuredly will do it. Coming up next, second half of our doubleheader. You mentioned the West, Matt. Rough Riders against the Eskimos in Commonwealth Stadium. Coming up right after this one.
Can the big three in Edmonton and Kerry Joseph, Hugh Charles, and Fred Stamps rise up and produce like they did last week when they really narrowed the package down and Cavis Reed gave his football team some focus in that contest and really seemed to do wonders for them as far as production goes. Darian Durant's been on fire, on a roll.
Usually you have a victory formation to take the knee. This time it's a defeat formation for the Blue Bombers.
That is strange.
I have not seen that. But that's the kind of game it's been.
Look at that.
Cough up the football 8 times. It started early, Matt Dunnigan. First time they saw the ball, and it just continued. A proliferation of turnovers, and it costs Winnipeg really its season. The Stampeders roll here. They're now 9-6. The final in Winnipeg, 32-21. Back to Dave Randall.